and these are the gambles. I'll start off, and I'll talk about Mr. Josh Jacobs as my first one. So
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm kind of not thinking as clearly as I was about Josh Jacobs. I thought, okay, well, they have a running back on an expiring contract. They're going to run him into the ground. Well, after seeing him play in the Hall of Fame game, I now think they maybe don't care as much as I thought they would. I think they might just run all of the running backs that are on the team. I think Zamir White could be a guy that we see this year. Kenyon Drake, if he's healthy, will be out there. And I think Josh Jacobs will too. Josh McDaniels has never really featured a running back in any of his systems, but at the same time, I thought because they had Josh Jacobs there that they would just use up the rest of his contract. But I don't think they're going to do that now, and I'm a little concerned about where I had him getting drafted, and so that reason I'm making him a gamble.
Yeah, none of this makes any sense with Josh Jacobs. I'm not saying that Josh Jacobs was a great running back by any means, but as you see in his standard PPR or anyway, like he was a running back 2 at the very least, if not a running back 1. I don't understand why I don't understand why the Raiders are done with him. I don't understand why they're using him in a preseason game, and I don't understand why everyone hates Josh Jacobs all of a sudden and why he's on the trade block. There's so much that doesn't make sense. So I get why he's a gamble at this point. Originally, I was thinking he was a great sleeper.
Yeah, I was all on board with that too. Now here's a fun one. Right before the show, Damian Harris apparently could possibly be traded. Could we be seeing Josh Jacobs on the Patriots here?
That would be
a hell of a move for them.
Bill Belichick thing to do.
Yeah, that would be.
It really would be. Yeah, I don't understand why we're done with Josh Jacobs in general. Like I've never been a huge Josh Jacobs supporter, but like I don't think he should be kicked to the curb like he's been with the Raiders, especially since they're just finally building a team. It seems like
it just shows you where the running back position is right now.
And, it really does.
So what have you done for me lately? For sure.
What have you done for me lately? Well, I'm gonna get into my gamble here, and my gamble is Rashad Penny. And I know Joe's gonna agree here because I know he's not a big fan. But honestly, my biggest thing about Rashad Penny is he's on Seattle. Like, yeah, I mean, he's a running back with an injury history who has never played a full season on arguably the worst team in the NFL. He has one of the best rookie running backs coming in behind him. No camp news can convince me that Penny is the guy. I'm just not sold on really anyone from this team, much less the running backs. And I would even say temper expectations on Kenneth Walker because this team is just going to be a dumpster fire. The only thing I like about either one of these guys is that they're like 8th, 10th round guys. But just a little fun fact here, because I did do a little stat research while I was doing my prep here. Since 2014, no Seattle running back has been higher than running back 15. And that was actually when they fielded a real team with Russell Wilson at the helm. So, and of course that was Chris Carson Chris Carson was 2018. My apologies. I messed up that stat, but just let it go. Sorry, they hadn't had a top 10 running back since 2014, and they hadn't had running back 15 since 2018 with Chris Carson. My apologies.
Oh, it's fine. You're forgiven, man. You bring up a good point.
We forgive you.
Rashad Penny is the Mike Williams of the running back position.
Oh, for the love.
That's all I have to say.
This is your Ken Walker propaganda speaking through your words here.
It is.
Rashad Penny is a fine running back. And the thing is if you can get him at his peak, then it's really the injuries that are the problem. But like, I think if you can get him at his peak of his powers, you're going to be fine. And I think he's going to hold off Ken Walker for at least 1 year.
I think he's going to have a couple good games, but I'm not like, I don't think he's going to he's not going to play a full season, mainly.
Yeah, Josh, I'm with you there. He's going to have a couple good games. I don't see how on this offense you could possibly produce like he was last year, even though that offense still wasn't great last year. But then you have the rookie in there. I mean, they're going to use him. It's not like they drafted him to sit. He was the second best rated running back coming out this year. So Kenneth Walker is very talented. I just don't see how Rashad Penny can get remotely close to what he did the last 5 games of last year. I really don't.
That's fair enough.
He's a gamble. Josh, you like my gamble, man.
I think I might.
We got Kenneth Gainwell here. So first of all, when your head coach wears a T-shirt with your face on it to a press conference, that has to be pretty good, right? I mean, I don't know. We have to understand at this point that Philly does not view Miles Sanders as their RB1, unquestionably. In fact, he was running with the twos a couple times last week during camp. Gainwell is going to be used in passing downs and on the goal line, where he was actually very effective last year, and that means fantasy points. So he's the 50th running back off the board right now. He's starting to gain some traction with the high stakes players right now, but he could grab that RB1 slot in Philly, and behind that line, he could actually win some leagues this year. So the risk is certainly there, but I like the opportunity, and where you're getting him, he could be your fifth running back, and if he turns out to be the RB1, he could absolutely win that league for you. So I like Kenneth Gainwell a lot this year.
So I have to disagree with the hatred towards Miles Sanders. But
Look how mad he is.
There was zero hatred.
No, I'm not talking
God
about
damn,
you.
he's always disagreeing about something here.
I'm not even talking about you. I actually agree with everything you said. I'm just saying I hate the hatred that is coming out about Miles Sanders, about how they don't view him as the number one running back. He is the number one running back. They just use a running back by committee. The problem is Boston Scott. Get him off the roster. I love him to death. But like for fantasy purposes, he is the Mike Tolbert of the Philadelphia Eagles. And he is going to poach carries, poach catches from both of these guys who deserve to be on the field. Gainwell, I am actually to the moon on. I will probably have him as my last pick of the draft in every league that I'm in. You're getting him so late. And the fact that, number one, if Miles Sanders gets injured, you got the number one running back on the team. And number two, you have a pass catching guy in a system that loves to throw to running backs and loves to get running backs out of the backfield, do some screens and whatnot. So super excited about Gainwell. I just hate the hatred towards Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair enough. I was going to talk about
this point, though.
I was going to talk about Gainwell as well at one of my other spots. So I'm glad that he made it here because I think that this could be a monster year for Gainwell. I'm really hoping they get not Boston Scott off the roster, but maybe just down his workload a little bit. Maybe just let's stick with the Miles Sanders getting
Why
carries.
do they use him at the goal line?
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it like they can't see him, so he's going to be good?
I would love to see a compilation of the exact same run 12 times and see who gets in the end zone more between the three of these guys. And
right. Well, hell, even put Hurts in there. I mean, I think that you could say any of them are better than Scott or whatever.
I don't dislike Boston Scott. I want to be clear. As an Eagles fan, he's done a lot of good for the team, but just in general, fantasy purposes, he kills every running back on the Eagles for no reason.